And we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome into this video today. I am going to go over the SBA EIDL update on how there has been over 100 billion and how that number is going down, what we're seeing it at right now, what you can do with increases, reconsideration, some numbers out there that support all of this. And I'm going to keep you in the loop with so much more. So stick with me until the very end of this video, as I am going to give you again the juicy details on all you need to know about the SBA EIDL, where to move forward if you are currently waiting, you've been approved for, and you want an alternative way, maybe through private lenders, which I get a lot of people coming to me for. Now, before I get started though, if you are here on the live, give me a hashtag live in the comments, please, and a hashtag replay so I know the time interval you are in here. And so I'm going to cut right into this. So as you can see possibly in the headline, there has been 100 billion that's been distributed over the last few months, and that number has dwindled and it has gone down to now about 41 billion. It could be a little bit less now because this was released some days ago. So it could probably be around 38 billion, but just about every single day, a billion in SBA EIDL funds are being distributed. And I'm not saying that's all to one person. Some of us may think that. Not in all cases, but it's being distributed and allocated for different purposes, for different people. If you didn't watch the video on the statistics and on the survey on what the main primary uses of funding was for SBA EIDL, I'll try to leave that down below in time when this is uploaded into the channel. And I'm going to be sharing with you so much more in detail, again, like the increases and the reconsideration, what's happening there. But again, at any moment, if you guys feel like commenting, please do so. Let your presence be known. Give me a hello. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Are you specifically at work, on your way there? I just happened to pop up. I'm happy that you guys can make it, whether you are here on the live or not. I get it. We are all busy and we all have our things to do. But keep looking out for my content. Again, before I get into the juicy details in just a second here, I release content on all small business loans, cash advances, building business credit the right ways, even credit repair and so much credit services, and taking advantage of different opportunities as they come. Tanisha, welcome in. Hello from Florida, excuse me. Happy to have you here. I've helped out many people from Florida, from all parts. I can't just say one city, one county. It's an amazing place. I wish to go there one day. And I say that as in like what I've seen, not as in physically. Oh yeah, actually, what am I talking about? I've been to Orlando, excuse me, when I used to play soccer. I was a part of a regional team that made it. And we were able to travel to Orlando and play in the Disney Center. It was an amazing experience, but I won't go too into depth on that. So let me get right into the things here. So the funds, and I'm looking at my document that I've put together on a different note, so you may not be able to see that here, but I may transition into some tabs in a moment. But if you didn't know this, just a few months ago, maybe 3 to 4 months ago, we had about 100 billion in SBA EIDL remaining. And time has been changing, and so now there's about 41 billion, and that can be exhausted as soon as mid-April. Reason being is because about a billion is being distributed on a daily basis. So if you just do the numbers, and I won't get into all that, it kind of calculates into that being mid-April. So that's one thing to be aware of. So again, a billion being given out per day and can be run out as soon as April, mid-April. So there are a few things that can affect the distribution rate of this. Everything is well. Thank you, Don. How are you doing? Sarasota, nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about them there. I've even seen you guys online and all that. It'd be a great destination to go to for sure. Now, let's continue with this. So the impact of rate, and we're speaking about the distribution of the funds, not as in a rate for an application where you're going to go take a certain type of a service, which is stuff that I talk about. If you guys haven't received any type of funding, I'll leave more information on that in the description again once this video is uploaded. And as we go through this one video, I'll show you guys some places where you can get in contact if you haven't already. So some things that can affect the rate of this 41 billion per day being distributed, 1 billion per day. The number of outstanding EIDL loans that are awaiting approval, that's one of them. It's a no-brainer, right? The amount of each EIDL loan awaiting approval, for sure. So outstanding, and the amount of each loan awaiting approval, bit of a difference. We also have the number and amount of denied loans or declined loans eligible for reconsideration. That's a huge one. Why? Because that is the most recent occurrence. So if you've been following the SBA EIDL, maybe perhaps you've been in this phase before, and I've spoken with so many of you guys who have been shut down or have been denied. You've tried to appeal. The appeal hasn't been successful. And even when you go into a reconsideration phase, it takes a bit of time for them to hear back. It's almost like the amount of time it takes for you to get the initial funds. That's what you are expecting. But that is of a top priority at the moment, which the reconsiderations. The increases are a little bit different if we're talking about that. The number and amount of pending EIDL increases. So that's another part of the equation that factors in. So the problem that I'm seeing here with everybody who's wanting an SBA EIDL and funding is the majority, it's overwhelming that they need more, they need an increase, right? And those increases, I'm not going to say are the likeliest to happen because of the funds that are being lowered. Nice. You received the targeted and supplemental EIDL grant back in September. I mean, yeah, you could do things for an increase. I'm going to get into that in a moment. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a moment, Tanisha. So stick with me. I'm getting into that. But for the numbers wise, it's over 50%. I didn't put the exact number on my document, but I know it was over 50%. And it can fluctuate again with those people who are getting funds, and then that number can then reoccur. But over 50% is overwhelmingly a good amount of people who are increasing, who are saying they want more funds through EIDL, not saying specifically it is a targeted advance grant. I'm speaking more in terms of the overall, the more top SBA EIDL. But that can also be a factor for the targeted advance as well. But it is overwhelming that a lot of people would like to receive more funds. But as we know, as this time, those people who are trying to get in, who haven't gotten any, the application process has been closed. But those of you guys who have been in and have received it, over 50% of that. And then just as we know, this is a normal statistic, is that over 80% of people would still like any kind of funding in general, which, by the way, I'm going to get to that in a moment, but I released a video not too long ago. What are your best SBA EIDL alternative options? And I go into it very thoroughly, guys. And then I go into the PPP alternatives as well. I have a separate video for that. I will try to link to you guys. It is the most in-depth videos you are going to watch on the channel and anywhere else. I can almost guarantee you guys that. It is very honest. It is very broken down. And that's what I release on this channel for you guys to be aware and be well educated. As this morning, I've had plenty of people coming through, submitting applications, and I have been taking care of each and every one of you. That's why I didn't get on this live earlier. I also had to publish a blog post, and I had to take care of that and get it out of the way. You are welcome, Tanisha. And so, yes, Don, you are welcome. And so let me continue with this document that I've put together for you guys. So over 84% is a staggering number, and that number is only going to be increasing. And then we're going to get into some of the increases or the reconsiderations. With everything happening right now, with people wanting an increase, with more people who have received EIDL funding saying that they would like to have more, right now is the time to ask for these increases or reconsiderations. They're still being processed for reconsiderations and increases, as I just mentioned. And the SBA previously reported that they could fund all EIDL applicants to the full amount. And there's an article that was released by Yahoo Finance on Saturday, the 1st of January. And a SBA spokesperson was saying that the SBA has enough in available funding to continue supporting all EIDL applicants to their full entitled loan amount. So that is a very good sign. And if we think about what is the average loan amount, and that's what a lot of us have in mind, and I break this down into people too when they ask me about, when I ask them, hey, you received the EIDL funding? They go, yes, but I'm also looking for an alternative, and they'll come to me, whether it's SBA related or not, I can deal with either one. And so the average amount, we're looking at about 120,000 plus, which does sound about right. And it always helps to have greater funding details, have greater financials, have a better FICO credit score, as you know that. credit worthiness, if there's any type of collateral, not in all cases. I know that I have been helping a lot of people get processed through the SBA 7A. Yeah, Tanisha, if you stick around for a second, I'm not sure if have you filled out my funding submission form? I think you have. Not sure if you received my email though. But I will send you guys, I'll show you guys what that looks like and where you guys can go and submit a funding form. This is what everybody is doing, everybody. And this is the fastest way to get through me at the moment. And what I do is I evaluate and I analyze it. And then what I do is I will give you guys a proper response that's personalized and customized. Excuse me. Madison, can you start up business? What type of business are you wanting to get into, Madison? Now, let me continue through this document while you answer that. So as you guys know, and I'll repeat this again, from Yahoo Finance on Saturday, this is now in March, but the SBA has enough and available funding to continue supporting all EIDL applicants up to their full entitled loan amount. And this is a big reason, and I know there are a lot of people who have applied for the EIDL, but $1 billion per day, do the numbers if on average is 124,000, right? So you guys can kind of do the numbers there on how many people. It's still a wealth of amount, and that is being depleted on a daily basis. So if you haven't received anything, if you're currently in the process, what I tell people too is I have a reconsideration template. If you guys need help with any of that, I'll try to leave that down below. I put it in a different video. I broke it down what it looks like, and you guys can pick it up for free. And the process, when you're in the, when you haven't received it, or you haven't heard back, or you're wondering what's going to happen, to reach out to them. If it's been pushed out too long, I would start reaching out about 2 to 3 times per month. I wouldn't try to do too much because they can see it once is enough. Too many times they may not try to get your file. They might look at somebody else's, and it's always based on each person's funding criteria. And they look at it and say, well, if reconsiderations is very important right now to look at, we're going to have to go there first. And then we have to look at the increases on this side because these people have already gotten their first EIDL funding, then now they're requesting an increase, but they are of a high importance. The use of their funds makes a big difference. And again, I broke it down into a different video. Let's see. This is the thing, Madison, and I tell everybody this is not only yourself, but everybody that I educate and I speak to is startup funding does not exist. Unless it's a form of a grant, unless it's, and you can have the nicest business plan and walk into a bank and just that doesn't work, honestly. You can try to do this with private lenders. I, for a shadow of a doubt, know that over like 99% of the time that's going to get you shut down. They don't want that. Reason being is my underwriters and my lenders who I have great connections with, we want you to have some type of revenue. We want you to have some time in the business. We want you to have other parts of the funding details that I won't get into here. There's a lot. I'm going to try to release an underwriting process video that I got from my underwriting team specifically. And so I'm going to try to release that over to you guys about specific programs and what to expect. So look out for that coming up. I don't know if it's going to be this week. Well, no, who knows? But startup businesses, you're very limited, to be honest with you. I mean, yes, you can try to build business credit that will get you access to over $250,000 in financing without having to use a social security number, just applying through an EIN, not having to use a personal credit score, even in some cases, no personal guarantees. I can't say that's going to be the case with you because to get no personal guarantee type of loans, and I spoke to some people recently last week, they were looking for that, and I gave them some options like PayPal Working Capital, there's Fundbox, Street Shares, but that might not even be the best thing because even with the Fundbox, they will, maybe in the initial, they don't give you a personal guarantee, but if you ask for an increase, maybe you don't get everything you want or you want more, they maybe will ask for that. It's where it just starts out in the beginning that way. It just depends on each file. But you have crowdfunding, grants, and those, they come and they go. And I will leave that, I think, underneath this video once it's uploaded again. Friends and family, right? And I know sometimes I've been in that position. And I know how it feels after the first time, especially. It's like you can't turn to your friends and family for help anymore. The banks, your savings. If you have a savings, I mean, I get we try to save that for a rainy day. We maybe have kids, college tuition. I get all of that. I understand it. I completely am with you guys. I know what it feels like. I've gone funding for my own businesses, and it isn't the easiest thing, especially when you're just getting started. You have to break through some barriers. You have to understand that there are no loopholes. You have to understand that there is no shortcut. You just have to find a way to break through 401k, IRA financing. There's just some other ways, but that's what you guys can expect for applying for increases or reconsiderations. So businesses, don't forget this, and I released this in another video and I made note of this, that businesses have 2 years from the origination date to request an increase and 6 months from the date of denial to request consideration. So don't put it off. But you probably do not have that much time. If you have been waiting to apply for reconsideration or an increase, now is the time for you to do it. Now, I'm going to shift over screens here and give you guys a look at what my funding form looks like. So give me a second. Okay, if you guys are unaware of what my funding form is, this is not an application. Some of you guys may have landed on this page before and haven't filled out any details. It is confidential, safe and secure between you and I. This does not get submitted anywhere. The purpose of this is so I can understand your business better. And it does not matter if you're just getting started, if you have $0 per month, that is adequate enough for me to then say, hey, let me move this over. It's adequate enough for me to say, hey, you don't qualify right now, but this is what you can do once you do. And then I will also leave you like business credit building free video series, a lot of different things, ways to connect. But do not just look at it and say, well, this is an application. He's asking for my FICO. I'm not sending that anywhere. And so once you submit that, again, that comes into my Gmail, and I'm looking at mine. I have a tab open where I'm working on some today. I have already done a few earlier. It's been very productive. It's only 10:09 here, Pacific Standard Time, guys, and I'm working my butt off for you guys. But if you guys do not appreciate my time or my energy, then do not waste any of it. So here, let me come back onto the screen and show you how I've updated it as well. It might look a little bit different from when you submitted it, but it says get the funding your business needs fast. Complete the form below to get a personalized and customized email response for your best funding option and options with an S there. Plus, this is what you're getting as a bonus. You're not only getting a personalized and customized. Tell me somebody else who is doing this. Tell me somebody who is not just giving you a phone call out of the blue, or you probably have connected with a company or a receptionist or somebody, and they're just calling you and telling you all the beautiful and nice things. And it's like, oh, this and this, we have the, no, that's a lot of BS. You have to be careful. It's already 1 p.m. here. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, the times in Florida, for sure. I remember that also being something in like when I went to travel to New York and had to get used to the Eastern time zone. But you also get a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. Tell me anybody who does this for you. Name one person. Nobody. And if they do, they're jumping on top of this, trying to get on top of what I'm doing, maybe try to copy what I'm doing or replicate it. And you have to be careful who you're listening to. So what is this form asking for? Simple things. You might look at it and be like, oh, it's a little long. I know the mindset of the psychology when we go to a form and we're thinking, oh, he's asking for a lot of things. I wish it was just 4 to 5 boxes and then I'm done with it. That's what you look at and you say, okay, well, I'll fill it out. No, the thing is, if I'm only given 4 to 5 things, you know how much more of a drawn out process I have to make this via email, possible text message, possible phone call. Do you really want all that? Or do you want something where you fill in the most specific details and you're given one huge email response on what you can qualify for? Here, let me actually copy and paste this for you guys. I'm going to put it in the comment section because I know people have been asking for it. So there it is. You guys should see it. And if it's not appearing, maybe it's because you haven't allowed StreamYard access. You have to do that first. And if it's not there, I'll leave it in the description for you guys. And I'll try to leave it in the comments section. Thank you, Don. Yeah, it is very important to be specific. I had this form, and I'll get into some of the alternatives, guys. It's going to get a lot better in a second. So stick with me. You guys are at the best time right now. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Don't think I take it for granted because I never do. It's hard still. I have a lot of things on my mind, and it's been difficult for me. I'm not even, I can't even give, it's hard, guys. I can't even give a third of myself to people. I don't know how I'm even pushing through this. It's a hard time right now for me. Yesterday I had my brothers and I had family over, but as much as I was around them, we were cooking pizzas. I, I had a hard time being around them and being myself 100%. It's really difficult. So down here, we're going in through, it's going to ask for your name, your email, phone number, the funding amount that's being requested. What is your time in business? Please specify if that is years or months. It says that right next to it. FICO credit score. Again, this does not affect anything. This is just between you and I. This does not get sent out to an application. And if it were, I'm never going to do that. We are going to talk about it. Thank you, Don. I'm doing my best. And I appreciate you guys and every one of you for your support. I do feel that radiating right now through the screen here. I even get these little goosebumps at times because I do appreciate it's even each and every one of you. Okay. Now, it's not just people are like, well, you only pay more attention to the people who get an application in. Oh, hold on. Let me see. I think this is it. There we go. No, I don't do that. I take care of each and every one of you. And those of you asking for mentoring, and I have specific, let me move this over and I'll get into that really quickly. But that again will be down below in the description and time and in the comment section. I even have other brokers / agents that I have been training, people that want to know what I'm doing and they're curious, even business owners who are like, okay, I'm a business owner, but I would like to also try to help other businesses. This is something you can take a part of too. But I have people who are asking me for masterminds and people who are like doing this and that, and I'm putting that off for now, but I want to really focus on helping each and every one of you. Now, let me get back into this screen. So it'll ask for things like name, email, phone number. Phone number is really not for me to hassle you. It's going to be for me to follow up with you after I sent you an email, just about 90% of the time, 99% of the time. So when I analyze and I evaluate and I customize and personalize that email response back to you, I then go by, and best is to give me your mobile number. Please, it's better than a business because what if it's not the right person I'm contacting? You are welcome, Tanisha. What if it is a different person who picks up? What if it is not on a non-operating day? What if it's a weekend? Not everybody has a business open then. And then two, I want to be able to get right into you and be able to communicate with you as the owner or the whoever, right? If there's more than one owner or who I should be talking to. I should say, hey, I sent you a text message or I sent you an email. Please look out for the subject line this from this email. Sometimes it lands in the email spam box. And what I sent for you in that email is all your options, how they work. It's very thorough. It's unlike what anybody else will give you. And this is not an automated response. You can reply back to here if you need any help and if you have any questions you want me to answer. It's very simple. I'm not heckling any of you. And it's the best format. So funding amount requesting, time in business, again, FICO, and do you have established business credits? I had this on other forms. I just added something, so bear with me. Yes or no? This isn't going to be a determination on whether you can get funding or not, 100%. Just it opens up the doors for me and you to understand what you can qualify for. And then if we need to investigate how your business credit is doing, what trade lines, how many trade lines you're building, are you building them correctly? If not, what do we need to start with? But it doesn't usually, a lot of the time, does not determine it. It just depends on the type of service you're going for. Now, over here, we have monthly sales, and next to it, it says the least amount in your last 3 months. Sometimes you'll see 4, sometimes you'll see 6, 4 to 6. For the most part, it is 3 months. Why do I ask for that? Because we base how much you can get accepted for on your lowest amount in the last 3 months. Right, and there are different services. Perhaps we can get you only up to 75%. Perhaps we can get you from 75% to 200%, or 75% to 2 times the amount of that lowest month. And then we also look at the average monthly sales, which is this next part, within the last 3 months as a habit. And then you can, push one of these little buttons here and then tell me what it is, right? And then I can make an analysis based on what you say here with the monthly sales. Sometimes the monthly sales of the last month, the lowest month, is less than what the average is. So then I can suspect there being some projection of it going up, which I have recently spoken to people on that. I have individuals who I'll be talking to again today, tomorrow, Wednesday specifically, and then people who are trying to get their credit score back up. So if you're struggling with your credit score, make the payments that need to be done. If you have a huge amount, pay as much of that off as you can, so that way it can bump your credit score back up. And then that will also get you access to more funding. When people ask for, let me move this over and I'll get into the end of this. When people say, hey, I'm deserving of 100,000 if I'm doing 70,000, yeah, perhaps we can get you 75% to 200%, even more than 100. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll get it. It just means that's the range. But if you do not have an adequate FICO credit score, I'm not sure if you're watching, I won't say the names here, but there have been plenty of people who have strong revenue, people who have over 200,000, 130,000, projections of next month being in the 500 to 600,000. So maybe we can drop that low month of 130K, take into account the last 3 months of it being around a 500 plus average instead of an average being a 200 plus average. And then we may get you more. We can override that FICO score because your revenue, your time in business, the industry, some other things are in stronger proportion. But if your FICO credit score for some reason is like in the 560, 570, and you're asking for 2+ years with private lenders, and even the SBA may look at that and say, well, I don't know if you'll give you anything. Specifically, well, with SBAs, you have to have a higher FICO credit score. Then it's a different conversation. But when you're talking about private lenders, they're looking at it and saying, we can accept bad credit, but if you have a 560, you're expecting to have 2 years. If you give you 4 to 24 months, it's not just going to happen. You're looking at a C, the D paper, a lending client, even though you have strong revenue on the A paper lending, you have the time in business, but your credit score just stinks. And the thing is, yeah, we can approve you, but we might not even get you past 7 to 11 months. You may have strong revenue, but that's the reality. And then in some cases, we can push it into that 12 to 24 month range for the A paper terms. And there are some other specifications for a different service. But yeah, it also depends on the use of funds. But you can't always choose and you can't always demand what you want. It doesn't work that way. So the monthly sales, the average monthly sales, sometimes we don't look at the lowest month, we look at the average. If the lower month is a lot less and we're seeing higher projections, and we can take a different average approach. The use of funds. So this is a drop down here. Don't just select the first thing because you're lazy. So there are a bunch of things. So we have a little drop down here that I put together for you guys. Purchase an existing business, COVID relief, expansion, factoring, invoices. If it's factoring, that's great because then I can see if it's a form of invoice factoring, invoice financing, working capital, inventory, payroll, purchasing equipment, real estate, refinancing, consolidation, debt, and other. And I've had everybody from all parts select each and every one of these and more. There are many more reasons, and then I communicate with them. So I'll also ask for things like business industry. Why is that important for me to know? Because I don't know if it's construction. Every underwriting process, every lender, especially the lenders, they deal with specific industries. And I need to know, okay, you're wanting a new truck, but is that for some type of a logistics role? It's not exactly trucking. It's a different thing. It's maybe some hybrid thing you're working on. Oh, you're a contractor, but for what? We know you're in construction possibly, but are you in the electrical? Try to be as specific as possible. Business name. If you don't have a business name yet, you can just say NA. Just try not to leave things blank, because I have to question whether, do you have a business name or not? Like, I don't know. Like, you maybe intentionally do have a name, but you just intentionally didn't want to put it in there. And then any additional notes you'd like to share, for example, the exact use of your funds, what are your expectations, etc. This is your moment to tell me what you expect. That's why I like to hear that from you guys. And you guys always fill that in, just a majority of you. And so underneath this, just a few things like about us. You guys can learn a little bit more about myself at Viral Funding Solutions. And I'll leave that here in the description right now as I'm typing it in. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm not copying and pasting this, just so you guys know. Well, let me correct that, sorry. And for those of you who have been questioning what I know, do I know enough to help you? I know this very well. So I've seen just about everything coming in. So I just went ahead and commented on my site, just so you guys have some more recognition on how I can help you. Why am I different? I'll get into that in a moment. But our services, there are more services offered than what is displayed here. That may be updated in time, but there are other parts where you can find that. The key benefits of working with myself, and I put us here just so it sounds more of a team thing, but it's myself usually 100% of the time working on your file. It is myself who knows how to work on these files very well. So an experienced staff of myself and a few others, possibly fast response time, certified expertise. How does this work? This is the best part. This is what's going to help you understand how it all comes together. So step one, you submit a funding form for funding. So fill out a simple funding submission contact form as the one you see so I can analyze and evaluate your funding details to give you a very comprehensive response for your funding option or options. And then make sure you're getting the best solution anywhere. Let me touch upon that and move this over. Anywhere, and I, with 100% confidence and certainty, do believe that this is the best you're going to find anywhere. And why? Tell me about these online marketplaces, and I won't start naming them. I don't want to attack their name. I want to attack the behavior. How many of them do you sign up with that actually break down everything very thoroughly for you, get to understand your business, your needs, whether you can qualify for it or not? That's out of the question. Get to know you on a more personal and deep level. They care about you. You're not just another number to them. You submit with these places, and they don't always present to you the best offers. There might be some in the mix. I'm not going to doubt that. But they don't give you what I can, my expertise. And you should come to a broker, whether it's in business funding, real estate financing, and other forms, and talk and ask me things. Whether it's in a quick email, it's not always going to be a phone call. You guys have to understand that. And sometimes the phone calls can be a little vague. Would you guys answer this for me in the comments? Would you expect me to be as specific about every little detail over a phone call, only for you to then think, what did we talk on that phone call for? There were some few bits of details here, but everything is in the email. The package, everything you're getting, it's usually nowadays it's a huge email put together for you guys. I used to do it, and I still will at times, where I'll ask a few things. Maybe I'll start off with the qualification, introduction, qualifications, and then the next email, if you qualified for that, we'll go into how it works and a few other bits. But tell me a place where they do that for you, where they're as honest, as sincere, as careful. I even put that in the intro whenever I email you guys back. I've carefully reviewed your information. But for those of you who do not like the response you're getting, hey, that's each person. So now let me get back into this. If it lets me, I'm not sure why it's not. 1 second. Okay, that's why. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the comment section. Is this coming through? Because I'm trying to click on my page here, but it's not bringing it up. I'll continue forward. I think I'm still streaming live. For some reason, I'm in a StreamYard, and I'm going to do this for a quick second. I'm going to remove my screen, and I'm going to come back. There we go. Do this very quickly, and then we'll end this video. So you're going to submit your details for funding, and then step 2, get approved for funding. So as a bonus, I'm giving you guys this free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, as I mentioned earlier. And this is going to walk you through what you must know before you go walk into an application, and you know with 110% confidence and certainty that you will be approved without wasting time. We're talking about days, weeks, months, and even years of sifting through old, outdated information. So that'll be given to you. You'll also get an analyzed response again that's personalized and customized for what you can qualify for, the numbers, how it works, and everything. Step 3, you get approved and funded. Once you've been approved for funding, all that's left is to get your funds deposited directly into your account so you can use right away to continue building, growing, expanding, and even getting out of a tight pinch. And there's a little quick video for me. You can click here to submit your funding details, and it'll bring you up here, and then you can fill it all out. Okay, so now let me move this out of the screen and then finish up here. Yeah, I'm not sure why it wasn't working. I got a lost connection sign, and I don't know if you guys could hear me behind. I don't know if you guys can hear the little the voice in my back because I was a little stressing out for a quick second there. I'm like, all the work that I did here, I'm going to have to restart it. So just to end this video, some alternatives that you guys can look for if SBA EIDLs are not working for you is to, one, start by submitting that contact form. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. I know everybody's like, can I speak to you? Can I get on the call with you? Sure, a phone call works, but if I have never spoken to you, it is a very difficult thing for me because how do I know you have the right criteria? Maybe you don't. Even if you don't, I still do, but I need some information just so I can do that, because then I'd be wasting energy and a lot of time. It'd be turning into like an emotional phone call, and it would turn into more of a drawn out process. I hope you guys can understand that. It's not for me to say I don't want to ever talk to you guys. It's just, this is more productive. This is more punctual work. This is professional work. This isn't a person just telemarketing and calling you guys every second and trying to get you guys funding and pressuring you guys so hard to go and do it, because that's happened to me before and I didn't accept that. You guys have to be careful. So the EIDL, you guys got some idea of what's happening there, how over 100 billion a few months ago has been depleting now down to about 41 billion. And then about $1 billion is being distributed on a daily basis. If we do the numbers correctly, then that looks like mid-April, around April 15th, 16th, the funds will be completely wiped out. How you can get into the increases in reconsideration, what's been determined on that side of the equation. Some alternatives out there like building business credit, especially if you're a startup. I know we have people here and I have a lot of people that I help with startups. We have business credit building and other sources. Trying to help your credit score. There are sources for that. I'll try to leave more information on that so then you can get approved for better terms and a better rate. It doesn't always necessarily mean you'll get approved for all the funding you want. In some cases it does, some cases it doesn't. It can also mean you move in from a daily to a weekly payment sometimes right away. I know we always want those monthly payments. They don't always exist. Sometimes you have to take the daily or the weekly, whether which one you qualify for. Sometimes you move from daily to weekly. In some services, it's not always from weekly to monthly. Some of them just are monthly. So you got to think about these things. But you have all these other sources out there for fast, even same day instant approval funding, up to 25,000 same day. If you want to learn more about that, I'll leave information for you down below in the description. If you want some that are instant approval, but not same day funding, instant approval, and then funds within a day to two, as much as a week, depending on your file and what we have to look through. There have been some people who do come into it who get funding the same day. We can get their file in, approve it, or get everything approved within a day. There will be people today who are getting offers. I'll be getting email notifications and speaking to each and every one of you if you're watching right now. And if I haven't sent out a message yet, it's because we're working on a new system and I'm trying to get some details together. I always appreciate speaking to each and every one of you. I'm caught up in between two different worlds, guys. My mind, like I said last week, I won't get into the details. If you were here, I know some of you guys, I appreciate you, heard what's been going on. But again, I can't give a 100%, sometimes not even a third to people because I push away a little bit to reflect a lot. And today I'm going to be going to give my my precious friend and brother a big cabinet. We're going to a store called Fred Meyer's today, and I'm going to go get him a big like bookshelf. My dog is who I'm referring to. And we are going to be putting there's like 5 little files or 5 little sections, and his name is Gizmo. So I'll put Gizmo, and then have like his toys in one little spot. And then I will have his like blanket, and I'll have a pillow. And I'll have a few other things there, and I'll put it in a spot where we can come to and just check it out and look for it. But yeah, some of you guys are like, that's a little ridiculous. I'm like, no, it's not. He's a human being, like a dog. He's a human being to me, and the relationship I built with him. So I don't want to get into that, but I appreciate each and every one of you for spending time with me today and in the afternoon, depending on where you are, Florida, New York, Eastern, Midwest, Michigan. We have a lot of people from different time zones. Those of you from Seattle, from even in the Oregon area, I'm in Vancouver, Washington. I gave you guys all the information you guys need to understand about the SBA EIDL on the terms of funds, how much is being distributed, what's being left over. some increases and reconsiderations. I have reconsideration templates and other SBA videos, PPP, and check out those alternatives. And do not forget to fill out that submission form if you haven't. And another thing too, I have my free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist. You can pick up for free right away that I'll leave down below. And then if you didn't submit a funding form, I will send you an email again to say, hey, did you fill out a submission form? It might be in the best interest that you do. This will be the best and fast way to for me to get a hold of you. So, excuse me. That will be everything from my end. Thank each and every one of you for being here, and have a great week. Let's continue pushing our businesses forward. Love you all. Thank you.